Hello friends and artists, and I am back with another week of art practice. I have a couple updates for you all before I share what I worked on this week. So it's crazy because it's already been a month that I have been consistently practicing my art, and I have noticed such a difference in my progress. I feel like, especially this week when I was making my journal spread, I drew a portrait and it actually came out like the person I was trying to draw, and that has never happened before. And I think it's because I've been practicing so much. I haven't really even noticed myself improving, but I really have. And I also think that the habit of practicing every day has become so much easier. So when I first started, it was kind of a struggle to get myself to practice for an hour every day. But now, no matter what I do, I always make sure that I practice. It's just a habit now. I don't even think about it. Even if it's the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I haven't practiced my art yet. I gotta go do it. It's really encouraging to see progress in myself. I'm really proud, honestly, of the work that I've been putting in, and it's finally starting to show. So, if you're practicing out there and you're not seeing results right away, it takes some time. This has been about 4 to 5 weeks now, and I'm only finally starting to see the results, and it makes me even more excited to see how much more progress I'm going to make going forward. If this is only 1 month, I can't imagine what 3 months is going to be like, and then 1 year. Who knows where I'll be at. So this week I did my Udemy course, and I did a little bit of experimentation on my own. I just found some subjects when I was out and about, and I felt really drawn to try to paint them. And then I also have a journal spread, which I am so excited about. I tried to film a little bit more of the process video of me painting, so hopefully you guys will enjoy seeing that. Okay, so let's get started. I cannot wait to show you all what I created this week. So this is the spread that I made this week, and it is based on the Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, which I would definitely recommend to anyone out there that likes reading. And a little context, if you haven't read the book, it is an adaptation of Greek mythology, and it follows the story of the great hero Achilles and his friend Patroclus during childhood and then up through the Trojan War. And I truly love this book, and I got so attached to the characters, and it was so cool to learn more about Greek mythology, because obviously I knew the basic legend of Achilles, but I didn't really know his story very well. Also, if you like this book, the book Circe by the same author is really good, and also 1,000 Ships, which tells the Trojan War from the women's perspective, is also really good. So on the left side, I put in a little bit of text about my thoughts on the book and what it meant to me. And then on the right side, I was practicing some portraits, and I drew Patroclus and Achilles. And I actually got this reference photo from Alice Blake, and I'm pretty sure she sells art prints of this if you are interested. One thing that I really enjoy about having a journal is that I can include visuals like this, but also text, because I feel like pictures can only tell so much, and so can words. Words can describe what someone looks like, but seeing a picture is obviously way more descriptive. Looking at a picture can never explain concepts such as fate, love, and war, which is some big themes in this book. So that's why I like to include some text here. And in my opinion, combining pictures and text together is such an effective form of self-expression. On the left here, I have the little title of the book, and then my little excerpt about what I thought. And if you want to read this whole thing, you can pause the video, but I'm not going to read it out loud. And then I have Achilles' helmet here, which I thought was really cool. And up here, I drew a little shield, and I put one of my favorite quotes from the book, and it's Achilles and Patroclus' dialogue, and Achilles says, "Name one hero who is happy." "You can't." And Patroclus says, "I can't." And Achilles says, "I know, they never let you be famous and happy, but I'll tell you a secret." Patroclus says, "Tell me." And Achilles says, "I'm going to be the first." And for those of you who haven't read the book, it might not make that much sense, but that really ties into one of the interesting dilemmas that Achilles has. It's either to accept or reject his fate. There's a prophecy that he will either fight in the Trojan War and die young but achieve everlasting fame, or he will live a long and happy but uneventful life and never be known. And so to me, this is like a very obvious choice, but I'm not going to ruin the book or give any spoilers away. But it was just something that really resonated with me, and I really wanted to put it in the spread. On the right side, I got inspiration from Alice Blake on what Achilles and Patroclus would potentially look like. I'm going to try to include some process photos and videos while I talk about this side of the spread. One thing that really helped me with drawing these portraits was starting off by drawing my portraits in a box. So this helped me really contain my drawing because I feel like I can end up going all over the place, but when I used a box to help guide me, I was able to much better accurately measure my proportions and keep everything in one place. A little bit about the painting process. I struggled a lot with the coloring just because I'm not super familiar with how to paint faces yet. I do a lot of sketching, but not so much painting. And also hair. Hair is so difficult for me to paint. So if you have any resources or tips on how to draw and paint hair, I would definitely open to learning more about that. But overall, I'm really happy with how these portraits came out. They are not perfect, but relative to my progress in my previous portraits, they are the best that I've done in my opinion. So I'm really happy with how these came out. And then this subject is from my Udemy class. I began a wet and wet watercolor class, and I actually really like how this came out. There's still some work to do, but I think the colors are so cool, and the point was to kind of get this underwater effect because they're whales, and I think it actually came out decent. I worked a lot with dripping and learning how to blend colors while they are wet. I actually filmed a time-lapse video of me painting this, so if you're interested in seeing the entire process, I have it on TikTok. I am pretty active on TikTok, guys. I love TikTok. I was so anti-TikTok like 5 months ago, and now I'm so into it. But I would recommend following me on there if you want to see a lot more of my process videos. It is Rach_Denton3. This was supposed to be some clouds, and I was like, oh, clouds are so easy to paint, you know, very simple subject. Yes, on one hand they are, and I would definitely recommend beginners painting clouds, but on the other hand, like, this was way harder than I thought. And again, I'm just experimenting, so it was good to try out some techniques and see what works and what doesn't. But ultimately, I was not super pleased with how this came out, especially when you see the reference photo, but it was still a good learning experience, and I try to detach myself from the outcome, especially in the beginning, because it's all about the practice, and I just want to remind people out there, it doesn't always matter what the end result is, especially if you're learning. The most important thing is that you're just practicing and having fun. And that is it for this week. I hope you all enjoyed seeing what I made, and you are continuing your own practice, and I will see you next week.